Hi, awesome audio people, and welcome to the second episode of the Mastering Club. Every week I pick a member of the Mastering Club members list and master this person's song for free and show you my process like this video. If you'd like to become a member of the Mastering Club, follow the link down below. It's 100% free. Today I have an awesome track by a guy named Amir from the group Kamosutra. We're more over in the rock genre today, with some distorted guitars and some heavy drums, but also with some pop-ish elements incorporated, like a synth theme that we're going to hear in the beginning of the song later. Before I show you anything else, I would like to show you a clip from the end of this video showing you the final before and after my master versus the mix. As usual, I've had a chat with Amir about his thoughts on the song and a couple of other questions I have so I can make the best possible master for Amir. And I asked him what the song was about because, as you're going to hear in a second, Amir is from Bosnia, so I don't understand anything in the lyrics. But he told me that the song is about thoughts about starting over in another country to gain more freedom or to gain a better life overall. So thoughts about moving away, what's on the other side, what more is there to gain in my life. So that's a really cool lyric theme here. I also asked him what the 2 to 3 most important elements in the song are to Amir, and he told me the vocals, of course. We really like the vocals. And the synth theme that we're going to hear in the beginning, and also the guitar riff, the distorted guitars, giving some of the attitude to the song. So with these things in mind, let's have a listen to the song and let's move on from there. Awesome song. Do you understand the lyrics? I don't. But what I can hear is that this song has a really great attitude. It has some great potential for an attitude here. But I think there's some lack of weight and bass and low end in this. But I think by adding some of this in, we can really boost this vibe and this attitude this song has. I also think the song is a little soft in the sound compared to the vibe I'm getting. So let's see if we can maybe add some more aggressiveness to give it more attitude. Maybe with some saturation and some compression later on. I am also hearing some nasty frequencies in the lower mids, like in the 200 to 300 range, especially in the chorus. And I really think, and this goes towards the attitude as well, we're really lacking some mids overall. A lot of the power in a song comes from the mids, and especially in a rock kind of track like this, we can really get the guitars to shine more and the vocals to shine more and everything to pop forward a bit more and give it some of this aggressiveness and some of this attitude that I really think this song already have, but we can improve it a lot more. And I'm also looking for a tighter bass and low end overall to build all of this about. So that sounded like a lot of things to go over, but overall we just want to boost the attitude that is already in the song right now. We wanted to improve this and just to tighten up the low end and get rid of some nasty frequencies. So that's what we're going to do. We'll start off with the bass, because I always start off with the bottom. Then we have some great stuff to build on. So let's EQ the bass and maybe compress it a bit. So what I think the problems with low end is right now is, first of all, there's a lack of low end here. We need some more weight in this song. And the frequency build-up in the low end and in the mids are actually masking and like mudding up the bass a little bit and not making it as tight as it could be. So I think if we cut a bit of this this build up out and boost the bass a bit, we'll have an awesome low end for this track. So let's go. So let's work on the chorus here. I'm going to pull up an EQ here, and I'm going to just go through the EQ moves I would like to do here. What I'm doing is that I'm listening to the song and listening to stuff that's poking out to my ears. I'll try to boost the frequencies before I cut them so that you can hear exactly what I am trying to pull out of this track. I just started off here by doing a simple low cut to just tighten up some of the bass that we don't really need. Next up, I'm going to use this plugin that has a mid-side feature. Because I'm working on the bass and I want my bass to be in mono, I'm just going to be safe and do like this. I want everything underneath 100 Hz to be mono. I've listened to the song a couple of times, so I actually know that there's a little bit of low end in the sides, and I don't want that. So this mono maker is making that into a mono signal. So now I'm going to solo the mono channel and only listen to that because I'm working on the bass. I don't want to interfere with the side signals at the moment. That really cleaned up some of the frequency that was building up and making and masking the bass. So now we got a clean slate to actually boost the bass a little bit. As you can hear, by cleaning up first and then adding in some low end, we really gotten the bass to fill a lot more, and we got a lot more weight by doing the boost around 135 Hertz. So that's really making a great foundation now for us to build the rest of the track. Now I'm just going to compress the low end with a multiband compressor, because I don't want to compress all the rest of the frequencies. I only want to compress like below 70 or 80 or 90 hertz to really fatten up the bass and really tighten it up. That's really tightening up the low end a lot and really doing some great stuff for this. I think we got the low end sitting where we want it right now. So let's have a listen before and after our EQ and compressor work on the low end. As you can hear, we've really added a lot of weight to this song now. The original sounds a bit tinny and thin right now, so this is a great place to go out into the real world and listen to some other commercial music to really get the low end to sit exactly where you want it. But I can't do that here on YouTube, but I'm going to do that later in my process when this video is off. So with the bass locked down for now, I'm going to move on to equalize the rest of the song to get it balanced. What I want to do now is try to EQ more of the mids out of this track, so we can get a more mid presence, and also try to open up the track just a little bit in the 4 to 5K range. So let's try and do that now. By boosting the mids around 700-800 hertz, we really got the vocal and the meat of the song out into our heads, and a lot more attitude actually, which is exactly what I was after. I also opened up the track just a little bit by boosting 1.5, 1.7 dB in the 5K range. But now I'm also hearing that the claps and the snares in the side are too overwhelming with this boost. So I'm going to control that just a little bit with the mid-side EQ. That really helped to bring down the claps and the snares just a little bit in the sides. So I only did this change in the sides and not in the mids. Now I want to get the guitars out a bit more. And I'm going to do that by trying to find the frequency in the sides where most of the guitar lies, and then boost this frequency. Because as we talked about earlier, we want the attitude of this song, and I really think a lot of the attitude in this song comes from the guitars and the vocals. The vocals are already really present, so we might want to just get a little more guitar out in the sides so we really get this attitude and some of this aggressiveness out. I'm going to try to do that now. That really got the guitars out just a tiny bit more, which brings forth the attitude that we're looking for. Now I want to get rid of some harsh frequencies in the 2 to 3K range that I'm hearing while I was doing this EQ work. Again, I'm just listening to the track, listening to what stands out to my ears, what annoys my ears. I'm going to solo the bands that I am cutting out so you can hear exactly what I'm doing. After taking some of the harsh frequencies out around 1.8 and 2.8K, I've actually felt like I could add just a little more presence overall. So I did that by boosting 5K around 1.5 dB, just to open up the track even more. With all the EQ pretty much done, let's have a before and after listen. By increasing the mids, we really gotten some of the attitude out that we was after in this song, and also by cleaning up the low end and boosting the low end, we really got some weight into this track. So now we're really feeling this attitude, and like we can really feel Amir singing here and what he's on about, and I really love that. Next up, I just want to compress a tiny bit. I'm hearing a bit too much dynamic range, especially with the claps. So I want to get a transparent compressor to just work when we have some peaks, just tickling the peaks, not doing any major works. And then I think I'm going to try a little bit of parallel compression to get just 5% more aggressiveness out of this. So let's try that. For the transparent compressor, I really like this TDR compressor. It's super transparent. So what I'm going for is just to get the gain reduction working a tiny bit on the peaks. So let's try and dial this in. It's not doing a lot, but it's really controlling the song and making it more pleasant and more coherent to listen to. That's exactly what I was after. Now I want to try some parallel compression in this. And what I'm after is a little more aggressiveness, a little more punch in the kick, a little more punch in the drums overall, and just a little more forwardness in the music. To do that, I got my go-to parallel compression plugin just because I like the aggressive sound of it. You can use any compressor that has a mix knob. I'm going to dial this in, and especially the high pass filter I'm going to play with. It's going to sound awful in the beginning, but I'll dial it in to the perfect spot here. That parallel compressor enabled us to get just a tiny more punch out of this track, which it really needed, especially in the drums. So let's try and listen before and after our compression here with the Marshall and our original. I really think we got this attitude of a song boosted a lot more by the moves we made, and I really dig how this song is sounding right now. Now I want to move on to some saturation to try and get a bit more warmth and some bit more aggressiveness out of this track. For that, I'm going to use another plugin in this virtual rack called Revival. We have two knobs. One is saturation in the low end and one is saturation in the top end. So let's try and play with that. That really gave the song a more round and more fulfilled sound overall, and that's exactly what this plugin can do. I really dig it, but be careful with it. It can get too much way too quickly. I actually just got a tiny amount of it on this track, and it works great. Next up, I'm going to do some more saturation, and this time a plugin called the Black Box, which is an emulation of a hardware, and I really like this plugin on particular tracks, especially tracks with guitars and like the more rock, because I can bring that those elements out way more with this plugin, and I dig that. So here we have the plugin, and generally this has a saturation knob, and it has two different saturation circuits called the pentode and the triode. I'm going to play around with it so you can hear exactly what it does. And again, this is tiny amounts we need, because you can easily overdo this and completely distort everything here, and that's not what we're after. The Black Box is really tying the track together and giving it more of this edge I'm looking for. And that's awesome. But now I'm actually hearing some harsh frequencies, probably caused by our saturation moves here. Instead of removing the saturation, I'm actually going to try to fix the harsh frequencies. So Soothe is this cool plugin that is somewhat intelligent and can lower certain frequencies based on the amount that's going into the plugin. What I want to do with this plugin is just to get some of the high frequency harshness that I'm hearing out. So let's try and dial this Soothe in. That actually got rid of a lot of the frequencies that were annoying me, and by pressing the delta knob you saw me press before, I'm actually hearing what the plugin is eliminating, and that was exactly the frequencies that I was annoyed by before I used the plugin. So with this done, let's try and have a before and after comparison with our master again. I really think it's working great. So now I'm actually hearing that the vocal is somewhat moved a bit back in our sound field here, and I want to move the vocal back forward again, because Amir said that the vocal is important, and I really agree with Amir there. So to do that, I'm just going to try and boost a bit of the high frequencies, like above 3 or 4K. And that will also open the track up just a tiny bit more to get just the last few percentages out of this track. So let's try that. So I'm going to use this back EQ to get the vocal out more and just add a tiny bit of top end to this master. That single EQ move with just a tiny boost really helped the vocal to pop forward. I'm boosting just a tiny bit less in the sides because I don't want the claps and the snares to pop out more. So this time I'm actually gonna go back and do just a tiny tweaks here and there while listening to some reference music and listening on some other speakers. And other than that, I think we are actually golden. I'll be back in just 1 second. I've been out listening to this song in my car and on some smaller stereo speakers and some mono speakers and all this kind of stuff, and I've made a few changes and small adjustments overall to the master. With this done, I'm actually ready to move on to get the limiting done here. I'm not going to show you my entire limiting process again because I did that in the Mastering Club episode 1. But what I'm going to do instead is do an A and B comparison for you now, level matched with my master and the original mix, so we can hear where we started out and where we are now. awesome. I really like the results we've gotten here. I think we've really turned up the attitude of this song, and that was my whole goal with this song to begin with, while also keeping true to Amir's thoughts of having the vocal to be present and having the synth theme to be present and having the guitars to be a big part of this song. What I'm going to do now is send this song to Amir, and hopefully he'll be ecstatic about it. I really dig it. Yeah, that's it for this second episode of the Mastering Club. If you're not yet a member of the Mastering Club, follow the link below and sign up. It's 100% free. Until next time, bye.